welcome to the 43rd episode of PauseCast. It is Thursday, the 15th of June, 2017. I'm Jessica Alouette. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Mark Hanna. I use he, him. Welcome.
Hey,
Hey.
it's been a week.
Yeah. I had a birthday.
A big week.
And it has been a
You
big
had a
week.
birthday?
I had
Shit.
a birthday, yeah. It's
Shit,
exciting.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
I get to celebrate with you.
Yeah, I got
That's a
I got
shame.
E3 as a present. Just for me.
Nice.
I know, right? Happens like
Nice.
pretty much every year somehow.
Yeah, it's weird that events like this continue to happen on roughly the same day.
You
I
know
don't
what's really weird though, is that it's thrown as a birthday present for me, but everyone forgets that the Southern Hemisphere exists and they say their game comes out in fall.
Yeah, right? Like, what does that mean? That means nothing to us.
We exist. Anyway, sorry, I had to get it off my chest. Yeah, E3
No,
happened.
I know you are miffed about that.
Yeah. Me being the space nerd as well is like, seasons work this way, guys. Stop thinking about video games for a second. Space is there. But no, yeah, so there's been like 1 million games announced and stuff, and some of them actually look interesting, which is always good.
As it turns out, video games do have the capacity to be interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I want to get into it. First, what have you been playing this week?
Starbound. Holy shit.
Starbound?
So remember how I mentioned last week that they had an update in the unstable version? And I said,
Yeah,
it's going
I
to be
think
released
so.
soon, I don't know when. It was the next night it got released. And I've played like 34 hours since then or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so my laptop power cable still has not arrived. Fucking hell. Which means I can't continue Andromeda's story. Well, sorry, it's wrong. I can, I won't, because I like taking screenshots. And if I play it on my desktop, the screen I'm currently using is a weird aspect ratio and low resolution. I don't want screenshots like that, so I'm waiting until I get my power cable. But I played a bunch of Starbound, and I really like the new update. It's a lot of fun, as well as adding cool mech gameplay. They've got a bunch of new block types that combine in different ways to previously, so they can have like diagonal stuff as well. And they're used to build ships, so it's been actually really cool playing around with that. And I built some stuff, had some fun. I'm probably going to build some more stuff and have some more fun before I'm done with it. I've got nearly 250 hours of Starbound on Steam now. It's by far my most played game, because I keep, like, every time they have a big update, I'll come back to it and go through the whole progression again. But yeah, so that's been a real blast. What about you?
This week I have been playing a little bit of Vermintide, one of the Warhammer games.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit like Left 4 Dead.
Is that
Warhammer,
Warhammer the Fantasy Warhammer,
yes,
right?
Warhammer the fantasy Warhammer, and not the like sci-fi Warhammer, which is Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
I have started on The Evil Within.
Is that a Bethesda game from a while back?
Yes, it
remember,
is
is that
from
right?
a couple of years back.
Okay.
It's a
like
horror
a-
title.
Ah, okay. No wonder I avoided it.
Yep. It's a very cinema influenced horror title as well.
That's interesting.
And it's from the director of the Resident Evil series. He left to found his own studio.
Okay.
So I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. I've put about 2
Cool.
hours in.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to spending some more time with that.
Nice.
And then some Battlefield and Overwatch have been kind of my week as well.
Yeah, I've played a little more of the Andromeda multiplayer, but a bit less of it because I don't want to burn myself out on its combat gameplay before I get back into the story. Hopefully soon. I'm really hoping that I get the power cable tomorrow, because if I don't, it's probably going to be another week. Just because of how the post is all working. I just want to play more story. My flatmate has finished the Andromeda story now, so I feel left out.
So I guess at this point, E3.
Oh yeah, E3.
Let's get into it.
So many things have been announced. And what I find typically is like I'll try to like watch the trailer for a lot of the things that have been announced, all the big ones, and I kind of find myself mentally sorting them into like, for like genres I'm just not interested in, like sports games and stuff. And then it's like, okay, that's interesting, but I'm not going to get it. That's interesting, I might get it, and I plan to buy this game, and like I have these tiers.
Yeah.
Do you do the same kind of thing?
No, I just look. I look for the good shit, and I'm like, that's got my. I'm basically like, oh, I've got my eye on this now at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've got some things where it's like, okay, for example, they announced Monster Hunter World. Of course, I'm going to get that. It's a new Monster Hunter game.
That's
like,
an
it's
instant,
a given.
like.
And that it's coming out on PC is exciting, except I don't know yet if there's going to be any crossplay. And if there's not, I'm going to have to buy a PS4 so I can play Monster Hunter World. Just like I bought a Wii so I could play Monster Hunter Tri.
It's been a while since you've had to buy a Monster Hunter machine.
Yeah. Did I buy the 3DS for Monster Hunter? I get the feeling I did. I probably did. I think I bought my I bought my PSP for Monster Hunter.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so it might be the fourth console I buy for Monster Hunter. I'm also really excited about Shadow of War, the Shadow of Mordor sequel. You know that I love Shadow of Mordor almost as much as you do, secretly.
Yep.
And just the sequel
exactly
looks
right.
like the same but much better. And also, I'm kind of got a crush on Bruce the Orc. I'll be honest.
Okay.
He's just fantastic.
I mean, the personality on display there is really something.
Yeah. That character in the trailer is very entertaining. I want to fight alongside them. But yeah, so those two look cool. I'm also excited about the XCOM 2 expansion that's been announced.
The War of the Chosen.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet.
I'm looking at a piece from Polygon as well, which says Jake Solomon's team at Firaxis isn't very happy right now because the DLC that he that's been cooked up, War of the Chosen, is so big that the team considered it making it the groundwork for XCOM 3.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, that sounds good for an expansion, right? They were saying it's more than twice as big as the Enemy Within expansion for XCOM 1, I think.
Yeah, and that was pretty big.
It was. I think they're adding 3 new classes as well as a bunch of new enemy stuff. And I presume there'll be new maps and stuff coming into it as well. So, sounds real cool.
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking for a launch window. August 29th, so it'll be out well in time for your annual XCOM playthrough.
Ha! Yeah. Oh, but it's coming out before November. Will I wait?
Yeah, a couple months before November, but
no, I probably won't wait because I think Shadow of War comes out in October.
Oh shoot, that's a good point. I know you will be very excited.
Yeah,
to play
10th of October. Yeah. So so there's that Shadow of War, XCOM 2 expansion. I said another one. There's so many you freaking forget.
Shit.
I'm also interested in. I saw a game that wasn't announced just now, but I didn't find out about it until E3. Called Absolver, which is like a fighting game that actually looks really appealing. Apparently, all the animators have got martial arts experience, and the animation looks really top notch. Mm-hmm. And the gameplay kind of reminds me of the Remember Me combat, except expanded.
Right.
Like in how you design your own combos and stuff. That looks really cool as well. I don't know for sure if I'll get it, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And final thing is, I was really excited about the Haven announcement. It's ages away, so I'm trying to mitigate that excitement, but I feel like I'll probably buy at least either that or Destiny 2.
Haven? Do you mean Anthem?
I do. Why the hell did I say the wrong word?
I have no fucking idea.
Sorry, my brain confused words. Yes, I mean Anthem. Haven.
Okay.
Is there a game called Haven even? I don't even know.
Probably. Let me look into that while you talk about Anthem.
I mean, to be fair, Anthem is a pretty generic name. I won't say it's a bad name, but I'm finding it hard to remember sometimes. But it looks cool. It looks like it feels very much the same niche as Destiny does, I think, is that online cooperative shooter kind of thing.
Right.
It's also like it's a sci-fi game. The gist, as I understood it, is like you have a bunch of exoskeleton suits that are essentially different classes, so you can outfit those different loadouts and change your class essentially by using those different suits, and then go out into the science fiction jungle and shoot some baddies with your friends. But like just visually, it looks really, really good.
The only thing I'm turning out for Haven is I'm turning up a game called Haven: Call of the King.
Heard of it. Why the? I don't. Sorry, I have no idea why I said Haven.
Yeah, that's
no idea at all.
bananas.
But I did. Maybe they were going to call it that once. I don't know. But yeah, it looks exciting to me. Like I like what the setting looks like and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, those are very quickly things that have caught my eye. What's caught your eye?
A few things actually. Right now, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh yes. Finally,
excited
an
about
interesting
that.
setting again.
And it looks like they've taken a lot of inspiration from For Honor, which is their like.
Oh really?
Yeah, like the combat looks quite a bit like it was influenced by For Honor. There's a lot of like fast dodges and locking onto enemies.
Yeah, I know they've
Very
changed it
speedy
significantly
combat.
from the past Assassin's Creed games, where it was kind of like
Yeah,
they
like
would close the distance automatically and stuff like that.
Syndicate was a bit more like the Arkham series of games, and even like
Okay.
so like Middle Earth as well, where you could you'd basically lock onto an enemy and then you have only the attack button.
Yeah.
This looks like it's going to be, like I said, a bit more like For Honor. So you'll be locking on and kind of dealing in direct combat. I was pleasantly surprised by that, and it definitely looks like they've learned their like combat lessons.
Yeah, it's surprising and like in a good way to see an Assassin's Creed that focuses on combat, because for a long time it's felt like they're all about, okay, how can you sneak up to jump on this person and kill them in one hit?
And I mean,
avoid
even
combat.
then, it's pretty like it's still been pretty light on that historically. Like the stealth system
Yeah.
hasn't ever really been a thing until Syndicate, and then it looks like that's been refined as well. Even in just early gameplay, Origins is looking really interesting. So I'm really interested and excited about that.
Yeah, I'm honestly most excited about the setting for it, because I feel like they haven't
Yes.
had a setting that really interests me since the first game.
The setting of Egypt, God, it looks so pretty.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I find it
So
kind of
I'm-
funny that you have a UAV.
Yeah, you do have a UAV, and like that. I think they got that from like they've pulled that from Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I mean, to be
Where you had
fair,
to call
at
it
least they've
hawk.
given it a hawk skin.
Oh yeah, they've given it a hawk skin, but there is a button which says stationary mode.
Yeah, I saw it hovering in the thing, and I'm like, hawks don't do that. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all about the gameplay. Hawks also don't let you see literally through their eyes, so who am I to quibble?
Far Cry 5. I mean, I'm still interested in Far Cry 5.
I guess.
Yeah, like I hope it delivers on the narrative promise that it originally kind of was revealed to.
Yeah, I'm just still disappointed in the setting, honestly. Just like America, sorry, is not an interesting setting, and I've always felt that one of the great things about the Far Cry franchise to me has been they're set in interesting locations.
I still feel like the cult setting of Far Cry 5, like the setting of the conflict rather than the setting itself, is kind of the most interesting thing.
It definitely seems to be what they're going for, and like I can appreciate that. It just, I don't know, the actual set dressing of America as well is something that I can't just flat out ignore in that, and it just, yeah, it makes it not feel like a Far Cry game to me, and just because of that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too critical about that one aspect of it. I haven't written it off or anything, but I can't shake my disappointment that like the franchise that I know for being set in interesting places is in fucking Minnesota or whatever it is. See, I don't even know, some American place. Sorry,
Montana,
America, you're
I
boring.
believe.
Montana. An American place that starts with M. I was close. Are they close geographically? I have no idea.
I have no
Sorry,
idea.
America.
No, I know nothing about America.
But yeah, I mean, like, that there's a dog is kind of nice, I guess. Lots of games have dogs, though.
Lots of games have dogs.
Give me a
can
game with a
watch
cat
some
for
of them.
once.
Why can't everything just be Nintendogs? Also, side note, I want to be able to care for my dogs.
It's not violent enough for video games, Jessica. If you never played
true.
a video game, you have to kill things.
Nintendogs is a fake video game. So is Animal Crossing.
They're not real. They're lying to you.
Let me see what else. What else is kind of on my list? I'm gonna go down this a little quicker.
Yep.
Destiny
okay.
2, we mentioned.
Yep.
Yes. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. I'm always gaming for more Dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
I should finish 2 at some point. The Evil Within 2. Like, that looked like really, really interesting. That trailer was compelling enough to get me interested in that game. I've heard kind of mixed things. I've heard good things from the people I trust, though. So, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Metro Exodus, more Metro. It's open world this time, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's a first-person shooter, right?
Yes, it is a first-person shooter.
Cool.
A little bit more of a survival focus, even in its previous entries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tunic.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that one.
Tunic is a.
If I Google this, am I going to find pictures of clothes?
Maybe suffix it.
Oh
with
no!
Tunic
Actually,
game.
the first thing I find is about the game.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. It's got a very cute art style, low poly. Stars a little fox adventurer.
Oh yeah.
It's very cute. And that's being published by by Finji, who also published Night in the Woods.
Oh, cool.
So I'm interested in seeing that. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus.
That had a cool like cinematic trailer stuff. That was quite cool to watch.
That had it had the cool show parodies that existed before it as well.
Show parodies?
Like they parodied old.
Oh yes, sorry, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
In the initial reveal, they parodied old TV shows with their own kind of spin on this for the alternate future that they've developed. And
good, right? Because it's like 1960s America if Nazi Germany won World War II.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit closer to the 70s or 80s, but I might be wrong about that.
I'm not sure, so you might well be close.
I believe Wolfenstein: The New Order took place in the 70s.
Okay.
And this is a direct continuation.
Okay.
I'm going to confirm that to make sure 1961.
Okay.
So I might be wrong about the year in which The New Order took place. That might have been 1950s. Either way, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Did they show any gameplay of it?
I'm not sure if they did.
Okay.
I believe they might have in external stuff.
Right.
And then lastly, Lawbreakers is looking pretty interesting. It's a competitive multiplayer shooter.
Okay. No wonder I haven't.
No
but
wonder
I haven't heard
you're
of
not
it either.
interested in it.
No, I haven't heard of it as well. But
Yep, a lot of verticality
okay.
is kind of one of the pitches of this. Kind of a lot of wall running, a lot of very, very high jumps.
I see a lot of jetpacks on their website.
Jetpacks. Low price point on this as well, which was a pleasant surprise. They announced it at $30.
Whereas $60 is normally what they pay for a AAA in States?
Yeah. When it was announced, they said, quote, no $60 multiplayer only bullshit. So I'm interested. I haven't got my hands on it, so I haven't got any idea how it's actually going to play, but that low price point is very enticing.
Mm-hmm.
So We'll see.
Nice.
That's video games. It's like a lot of video games.
Yeah. Any you want to go more into? Because we went over some of those pretty quickly just to get through
Yeah,
the list.
no, like, I've spent enough time on just what I'm interested in. Like, I could give you, like, a bullet point on the stuff I'm interested in on each of these. Like, I could give you Wolfenstein 2. I'm excited to just kill some Nazis.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
very,
like what
very
it's for,
excited.
right?
Yeah, I'm very excited about killing Nazis. Apparently, they added a hatchet to this one. And they said, there's a lot of things that you can do with a hatchet and a Nazi, and I'm very excited to see all of these things that I can do with a hatchet and a Nazi.
That sounds like it might be a bit graphic for me.
Yeah, if you are not into a little bit of the old ultra-violence, Wolfenstein is absolutely not for you.
Yeah.
But for those of us who are into a little bit of the old ultra-violence, Wolfenstein is exactly your shit. So it's, video games happened this week, like a lot. I didn't fully cover everything. We don't intend to fully cover everything because we would be here all night. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're interested in this time? Because I've taken up enough of your time with all the shit I'm
I feel like
into.
I've been saying that longer, but sure thing. I think, actually, here's something that I'm a bit bummed about.
Okay.
So I mentioned that one of the games that was announced that I definitely want to get is Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
That's awesome. But it's also come out that Monster Hunter Double Cross, which is that sort of generation and a half expansion for Monster Hunter Generations, there are no plans to localize it for an English release, which is really sad because it's a great handheld game. And that was going to be on the Switch and the 3DS. My brother was really looking forward to having a Monster Hunter game on the Switch. But having it on handheld means you can be in the room with everyone you're playing with, which is something that has always been a big part of Monster Hunter for me.
Right.
So I don't know how it's going to be with us all being in different rooms, different houses, playing together. Like, we could do it before, and we have done it. But there's something really nice about being physically together when you're playing those games. I don't know, maybe I'm just used to it. So I'm bummed about not getting another Monster Hunter on the 3DS. But luckily, to balm that burn, I don't know, there's a new one being announced that I will be able to get an English release of. Last time they decided not to localize the Japanese one was on PSP, where I had the option of pirating a half fan translated version.
Right.
That was a pain in the ass because everything's in Japanese, which I don't understand at all. But it's not like I can even sound things out because it's a completely wrong alphabet. So I had to remember, like, this cat's name is like 3 smiley face F-ish and stuff. So it was really hard. And like, you need this item, but you don't know what it is, and you can't Google it because you can't type the characters. That's the stuff. So, like, it would be such a pain if I were to try somehow to get the Japanese version anyway, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm kind of sad about that, but, luckily there is a new one being announced. It's a bit hard to tell from what I've seen what new stuff there will be in it. I'm kind of hoping that it'll turn into kind of a thing like Monster Hunter Frontier has been, which is this sort of weird Korean-only Monster Hunter Online PC game that's been around for years, but like you have to be in Korea to get it. I think you even need like a Korean social security number or something. It's bizarre. But what they did there is they had like successive expansions that added more content, kind of like WoW has done. So it'd be neat if Monster Hunter World turns into something like that, where we get one Monster Hunter game and they add to it over time. That would be quite nice.
Right.
I've no idea if it's going to be like that yet. They showed off some of the mechanics that have been around for a little while now, like mounting monsters and stuff like that. It looked like they had stealth stuff added, which is interesting. I don't know how big a part that's going to be because, once you've been spotted, typically you just keep fighting. But maybe they're adding some more ambushing stuff now. That could be interesting.
I mean, it definitely seems like it from what I saw, because there was definitely a focus on staying camouflaged. There was a focus on as well on finding monsters more easily, and there was also quite a lot of interaction between monsters.
Yeah, it looked. I had a hard time telling what was happening in a lot of the gameplay reveal. It looked like maybe they were tracking something.
There's definitely like items that you can use now to like look for footprints and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Of monsters.
I was not a fan of all the glowing particles everywhere, to be honest. But I'm sure I get past that. And that was probably only that wasn't happening in the fight and stuff as well. The T-Rex title monster is not as interesting as I've seen previous Monster Hunter designs, but as more stuff gets released about the game, I'm sure. I mean, it's Monster Hunter; they will have interesting monster designs, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm quite interested in the monster and like monster to monster interaction, which.
Oh yeah, they showed a Raytheon showing up at the end. And it carried the monster off, actually, didn't it? They haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
They've done that before in cinematics, but never in games. So.
Yeah, so that can happen in game. Other stuff that can happen is like, Griffin McElroy, who works for Polygon. He was talking about how during the gameplay demo that he saw, at one point, one monster came up to another, ate that. Whole.
What?
Ate the monster whole.
What?
Went back to its nest, to its kids, fed this monster, like barfed up this monster to its kids to feed it.
Okay. I'm now so much more excited for this game than I was before. Actual ecosystem sort of stuff in Monster Hunter that would be so cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
In the older games, not like a couple of generations ago, they used to, once you'd beat a monster, they'd give you like a short cinematic of like that monster's ecology, where it would show something like it eating or catching prey or fighting for mates or whatever. But it was always a cinematic. So if they have that kind of stuff in game, that'll be really neat. Because they've always hinted at it, and it's always felt like there's a larger world than you actually get to see. So
and now we're getting kind of a glimpse at that.
Yeah. There was a little glimpse as well of people apparently like holding onto a pterodactyl-looking monster and flying around. Right. So that could be fun.
Yeah, there's like a grapple hook and stuff, which is cool.
Shit! Yeah, the grappling hook. How did I forget about that? There's a fucking grappling hook now. It's like Uncharted in there. Not Uncharted. What is with me in saying the wrong name of games? What's that game I'm thinking of with the grappling hook? Christ, Mark. Fuck. It is Just Cause, not Uncharted. They're completely separate. They don't even sound alike.
Yeah, they are. Wow, how did you mess that up?
I don't know. You're going to need to like correct me a dozen times tonight. I know what it is. There's too many games. I'm like making up names and just saying the wrong names.
Here's my question. What do you think of Skull and Bones?
I think it's a terrible name.
I think it's a terrible name also.
I mean, I didn't play Black Flag, but I liked the look of it. I enjoyed the sea stuff in Assassin's Creed 3, and I'm sure they've been able to expand a whole bunch on that by now focusing on the game on that. That's cool. The book I'm reading right now is about pirates, so I'm a little bit excited about pirates in general.
Right.
The multiplayer competitiveness doesn't appeal to me at all. That's more of a drawback to me.
Yeah.
Honestly. But in general, like, it could be cool. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's one I'm going to buy, because it's probably going to be quite expensive for the amount of enjoyment I think I'd get out of it. It certainly appeals to me more than Sea of Thieves, which is the other pirate game that's been announced.
Yeah.
I don't like its art style very much personally. It's entirely a personal thing, of course. And it seems to have more of a multiplayer focus than Skull and Bones as well, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the very least, that's co-op multiplayer.
True. That's true. But it seems to be on a wider scale, where it's not just like 2 people co-op multiplayer, it's like a dozen people co-op multiplayer.
Speaking of 2 people co-op multiplayer...
Yeah?
A Way Out announced at EA's E3 thing. That's got mandatory co-op. You can't play the game without another person, whether they're like online or physically in the room with you.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. If it's online, are you just going to be matched with someone who's an asshole?
No, like, you have to have one of your friends join you, I think. I don't
Okay.
think there's any matchmaking for it.
Good.
I think it's just...
For a game like that. Yeah. But then,
Yeah.
so, like, if you don't have a friend who has it, you have to, like, organize with your friends to both buy this game.
Yeah, or like have someone over to play it with you and like make it
True.
like make it like a weekly thing. Like, we'll
True.
sit down and do like this chunk of the game.
Or learn to play with your feet.
I mean, no doubt there will be people who do that.
Yeah.
But the entire game is intended to be played co-op. It's kind of cool looking. It's like a Prison Break story.
I'm interested in how they'll manage that enforced co-op thing, especially with, like you said, how there might be a focus on playing it in the same room. Because you know how, like, there's such a difference in atmosphere between playing a game on your own and with someone. It's like if you're watching a comedy show or something and you're on your own watching on TV, you'll find it funny, but like you won't laugh probably because you're on your own. But if you're watching with someone else, you'll laugh, you'll talk with them and stuff. And surely the game's going to be the same. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I've mentioned before how I often will try to put myself in a situation where I'm on my own before I play a narrative game. So I'm really interested to see how that will pan out.
I'm also super interested. I would be a little bit nervous if I was the developer personally because it's a risky design decision. I think,
and not one that has really been done before. I've seen there was Army of Two, which I don't think was very good at all, but it was a enforced co-op shooter game. Have there been other enforced co-op games? Did you mention some before?
I don't know that there really has been.
No, it's certainly not a common thing. Especially for narrative stuff, like shooter games have had split screen co-op ages, like Halo and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's all about it's all about both of you shooting things. Like you essentially play the same role. Mm-hmm. That asymmetry that you mentioned, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And like, yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting. I'm very tremendously excited to see how it all plays out.
Have you seen what's that game, Detroit?
Yes, the new David Cage game.
So it's like a Heavy Rain style gameplay kind of thing, right? Or Beyond Two Souls.
Yep, it's from the same studio as Heavy Rain.
That looks
same
interesting.
Director. Yeah, I'm interested. Definitely some stuff to be wary about in terms of like what is being written about. Like it's a robot slavery kind of narrative, and that could have some troubling implications in a city like Detroit, which is actually like there's a very large black population in Detroit. And writing a story about slavery set in that city that's got some iffy tones to it right to start off, and David Cage is not known for handling some of this stuff very gracefully.
Oh, is he not?
No.
Okay.
So, like, as much as I enjoyed Heavy Rain and Beyond, like, there's definitely some shit in those video games. I'm looking forward to Detroit nonetheless, because I do think it's interesting. But, like, it's going to be one of those games that I'm going to probably end up playing through and being a little bit more critical of.
Right, yeah, it's fair enough.
I really enjoyed Heavy Rain. That game's sticking with me.
Yeah, same. I enjoy it a lot. It's one that I wouldn't go back and replay. It very much feels to me like I've done that and the story is done and this is what happened.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that I'll be going back to play that for at least another while. Like it's been a couple of years since my last playthrough of it at this point, I think.
Excuse me. I've only done the one. I've just played through it once.
Yeah, I've only played through it once as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking
I did it in one session.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was up late that night because of it.
I did second half of Beyond in a single setting, and that was like a 6 hour.
I think I did Heavy Rain in one sitting. Maybe I did it in two, but it would have been no more than that.
That makes sense, honestly.
It was a few years ago now though, so I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, no, those games are wicked. They are worth the long sittings, I think. It's definitely, like, I think that session with Beyond may actually have been the longest I've ever sat down with a single video game.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I said, that was like 6 hours of pretty well nothing but Beyond.
Oh, I've done more than 6 hours in a row.
Oh, I know. We'll see. We'll see where Detroit goes.
Yeah.
It's been such a big week. And, like, I'm definitely relieved to see that, like, when it comes to sequels, developers are learning, like, a lot of good stuff from the feedback they've gotten. Like, apparently The Crew 2 looks quite interesting and has taken on, like, some improvements over the first game. Assassin's Creed Origins definitely looks like it's taken on stuff from the first game that has, like, it's going to dramatically improve it. Wolfenstein 2 looks like it's kept a lot of the stuff that made the New Order so great. So, yeah. And Destiny 2, of course, as well.
You just reminded me of something else that I'm excited about,
Ooh.
which is part of the XCOM 2 expansion, is that they're adding Fire Emblem stuff to it. They've mentioned stuff about soldiers bonding and getting special abilities from it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that sounds exciting, because, I mean, like, XCOM 2 is a story generator, right? That's going to add another dimension to it. I'm excited about that part of the expansion. Definitely. That's going to be real cool. Because so far, that stuff's all been in my head. And imagination is an important part of playing XCOM 2 because it adds that layer of story that isn't in the game. Which is an important part of how I play it, how I remember it, having played it. So that is going to be really nice to have the game itself add that extra element for me. That'll just give me more to build those stories of my own out of it. So I'm really looking forward to that for that aspect, honestly, more than the gameplay aspect of it.
Right.
But that's really cool. That's a really cool thing that they've mentioned. I don't think they're going to have any cringy wedding conversations like I mentioned last week.
Yeah, how far did you get in your Fire Emblem playthrough?
So, I'm going to have to spoil something for Fire Emblem Awakening, so
that's fine.
Block your ears for the next 20 seconds if you don't want to hear it. I'm guessing around halfway through the game, there's a 2-year gap, and after that point, any characters that have paired up, just about any characters, a kid appears who's been sent back from the future who you can go and recruit. I'm up to that point, and I think I've got 2 of the kids, one through the story you have to get, Lucina, and I also found Owain. And I've got like 13 other side quests that popped up to get other kids.
Yeah, so you finished that. You finished the quest on the mainland. Is basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
And now you are crossing the ocean.
Yeah, I've crossed over to do one of the side quests, but I haven't done any main quests that bring me over there yet.
Right, for sure.
I'm also excited, actually, just on the XCOM 2 thing. It looks like, from what I've seen of the release, and what I've seen of the end of XCOM 2, it looks like there might be a continuation of the story or an expansion on some of the stuff that's mentioned at the end.
Yeah.
So getting into spoiler territory again for XCOM 2. You've finished it, right?
No.
Oh, should I avoid
it's
spoilers?
Fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Sure. So, the looming threat throughout XCOM 2 is this thing called the Avatar Project. Near the end of the game, it's revealed that the aliens who... Okay, actually, I need to take a step back. The most powerful aliens who you saw near the very end of XCOM 1 are not present in XCOM 2. They've kind of disappeared, although there's still like statues of them around. The Elders. And this Avatar Project is the looming threat throughout the game. The aliens make progress and you delay their progress. Near the end of the game, it's revealed that avatars are powerful, like converted humans with psionic powers. And you capture one of these and you, the commander, takes control of it mentally. And you send it into this base through a portal. and it turns out that the base is underwater. They've been here for decades. There are hints they've been running from something, and they've come to Earth to try to find a way to fight it. And maybe actually you should be allies because this thing's a bigger threat than them. The elders show up in like a ghostly form to try to stop you leaving, I think it was. And there's hints earlier on that there's some like wasting illness affecting them. And now I kind of wonder if these new aliens being introduced are related to that external threat that's chasing after them. There's also mention of a new enemy type called the Lost, which are like humans who have withered into zombies. And I don't mean the chrysalid zombies that are already in the game. And I wonder, again, if that's related to this wasting thing that they're running away from and might be brought by these new enemies. I feel like these things must be related.
That adds up.
Right?
Just like having heard all of this, that 100% adds up.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so I wonder if... Because, as well, one of the new factions is human-alien hybrids that have defected. So I think they might be leading us into maybe a little further down the line, like what happened in the original XCOM series, of the humans and the aliens sort of being on the same side. But there were sectoid human hybrids, I think, in XCOM Apocalypse. And then fighting against some other external threat. Kind of like what happened in the Halo franchise with the Flood turning up as this big external threat, and then in Halo 2, you and the Arbiter from the Covenant work together to do shit.
Right.
Same kind of vibe as that. So yeah, that's my XCOM 2 conspiracy theory.
That seems reasonable.
But yeah, so I'm kind of stoked to see the story continuation just based on that. Even though I've never been hugely passionate about the XCOM 2 story, the fact that I feel like I'm piecing these things together is making me excited about it, you know?
Yeah.
Me who normally avoids spoilers is trying to spoil shit for myself.
God. Yeah, a lot of good video games, as it turns out.
Yeah. So that, and then again the story generation stuff. Shadow of War. I'm gonna have so much fun with that game. Watching the trailer makes me want to go back and play Shadow of Mordor again. But it's so good for just that generating stories as you go. Excuse me. So I'm super stoked about that game. I want to generate stories with Bruce.
I also want, I think the thing that I'm most excited about, like, generating stories in, Destiny.
True. Yes.
I am very excited about where Destiny 2 is going to be going. In spite of, like, the fact that I'm about to lose everything in Destiny, like, all the time I put into Destiny 1, my characters are going to be brought over, and they're going to have nothing.
But, like, you keep your characters. That is
keep the characters themselves, yeah, but your armor and stuff won't be carrying over.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm about to have nothing, and here I am wanting to go play Destiny again, because I want to be back in this world.
Yeah.
I want to continue to, like, be a guardian.
It feels so good, doesn't it, when you can get that connection with a character you've made and the world they're in? It's a good feeling. Like, well done, Destiny Elders. Well done. I'm fucking thrilled.
I'm so excited about returning to Destiny.
When does that one come out again?
That comes out in October on PC.
Oh, so around the same time as Shadow of War.
Yeah, it's the PS4 version comes out like a month or two earlier.
Oh, that's quite a big difference.
I believe that's in September. And then,
what was that thing that you said was released on August 29th?
29th. That might be Wolfenstein, maybe?
Yes, it was. Because XCOM 2's expansion is also August 29th.
Oh, no, it might have actually been XCOM 2.
Oh, okay, maybe it was. Maybe it was.
XCOM War of the Chosen, rather.
Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn's getting expansion 2. I have avoided looking at it because I'm a spoiler-avoiding asshole.
Yeah,
but like,
Wolfenstein is in October. My bad.
Okay. But that's another one that I will pick up because I enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn so damn much. I will be picking up its DLC, I'm sure. Which I'm guessing you're going to one of the regions that was mentioned in the main game. Just from how it looks like you're going to some really cold place, all ice and snow. And there were places like that mentioned in the main game, and I caught myself wondering, I wonder if you'll go there in like sequels. So
I think
cool.
the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think so, right? And there'll probably be new machines and stuff, so like that'll be fun.
So,
I need to build like a timetable of when all the things I'm interested in are getting released, though, because it's hard to keep track.
Okay, so Destiny 2 is actually releasing in September.
Oh, yeah.
So, September 6th, PS4 and Xbox One get it. October 24th is the PC launch of...
wow, that's nearly
Destiny
2 months afterwards. You're right, that's a big delay.
Yeah, I know that they're just trying to get that version, like, right, though.
I mean, fair enough. Like, better delay it and get it right, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's interesting there's that big a gap between the different platforms. What's the crossplay situation again?
As of right now, I would guess none.
Okay.
But we will see.
Okay. And I know that Shadow of War is October. 10th of October, yep. So, I've got XCOM 2 in 2.5 months, and then Shadow of War a month and a half after that. I think those are like the first two ones I'm excited about that are coming out.
Right.
I think. Like I said, I need to make a damn timetable. There's so many games. I'll tell you what I'm not excited about.
What?
Skyrim for the 11th millionth time.
Oh, yeah. I saw that criticized quite a bit.
Like, it happens again and again every time. It's old. We're sick of it. I'm sorry. Like, it was a good game. It was a really good game. It was 5 years ago. It was 6 years ago. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I don't care about virtual reality one little bit.
That's fair.
Oh, when I did see... So, Bethesda's first thing they announced was what I find very boring. 2 old games with virtual reality added. But what I can't get past is the literal first thing you see when they show you these games in virtual reality is that your hands are not attached to arms.
Yep.
Like, I don't know about you. And, I mean, people who know me might not believe me because I'm always covering my arms because I'm cold. But my hands are connected to arms. They're not disembodied floating hands.
I've seen your arms once.
Once? Yeah.
So I can confirm that your hands are connected to arms.
Yeah, exactly, right? And to be frank, when I play a video game in which I am playing a human being who has hands, I expect them to be connected to arms. And there might be exceptions, like near the start of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, you've got a prosthetic arm without a hand. Fair enough, hand's not connected to an arm. It's okay. If I'm playing Rayman, I'm not a human. It's okay, he's got no arms, but he's got hands. Cool. Fallout, you're not that much of a mutant.
TK is not a thing.
I just... Like... It's not like someone was actually playing it at the time. It was a video they put together beforehand. Maybe it's a really hard technical problem to solve. I don't know. Maybe pick the video where you don't have floating disembodied hands. I don't know, right? Oh, sorry. Had to gripe.
No, you're good.
I just thought that was really silly to see. Doesn't annoy me nearly as much as the whole season release date thing, though. Like, just tell us it's in quarter 2 of 2018. And then everyone knows when it is. And it's that time for everyone. Because if you tell me that something is coming in, like, spring, and it's actually coming 6 months later, I expect it 6 months early over here.
Yeah.
But not 6 months late. I'm not having any of that shit.
No, that's... No, don't do that. Do a worldwide international release or don't do anything.
And if you say it's going to be released on the 24th of October or something, give it to us on our 24th of October.
I'm looking at movies also for this. Hey, movies? You know how John Wick 2 is in theaters right now? It's also just available to download. Why the fuck would I buy it? Why the fuck would I go see it in movie theaters? I can watch it in the comfort of my own home. And
I mean, some
not
people would
spend
prefer the
$60.
giant screen and deafening sound and strangers in a dark room.
I mean, I'm okay with that. It's just like it's so much more expensive, and I could just not.
Yeah.
I could just buy it on DVD or whatever. Like, come on, get your shit together.
I mean, having that option's nice though, right? And other people might want to see it in the cinema. Having both at once, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
I know, but like, why not have just a worldwide cinema launch and a worldwide DVD launch?
Oh, right, of course. Sorry, yeah.
That's what I'm meaning here.
Gotcha.
I'm not opposed to like having the ability to have the choice to either go see it in cinemas or download it. Like, I would like that. But don't give it to me as like a delayed thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't delay the release so much that I have that option when other people didn't, and they could just go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up that bad. Don't do that. At least video games tend to have like simultaneous launches. Like
the advantage of almost like particularly for PC, it's almost all digital releases, which like you don't need to worry about shipping as much, I guess. Although if there's physical copies, normally is anyway, then there's that as well.
Yeah.
But it makes it easier when the game's released on Steam on this date, comes out on that date, and it's ready before that, so it should be able to come out on the actual date you said, and not when it's that date in America. I'm not going to stop griping about this.
It's bad. Also, just looking at Destiny's storage requirements right now, get ready to have 70 gigabytes of space taken up by Destiny 2.
Wow.
Shit.
It's a large video game.
That's big. That's as big as Doom. For probably more content, to be fair. But, like, with expansions, I could see that going up to 100. I could see it doing that very easily. Fuck. Oh, video games. Breath of the Wild fits in 14 gigabytes, why can't you?
I mean, what takes most of the space? It's like textures and stuff typically, right? It's the visual assets that take up most space.
Yeah, in some cases sound as well.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. But like, yeah, it's not like the engine and stuff. It's all the assets, and it's how much assets, and also if you've got like stylized cell shading kind of stuff,
easy to like kind of
easier to compress, right? Have smaller stuff.
Yeah.
So surely that would have helped. Why am I saying Shadow of Mordor? I'm getting the name of games wrong. Breath of the Wild is not Shadow of Mordor, Mark.
Breath of the Wild is absolutely not Shadow of Mordor. One of those is a good game, and it's Breath of the Wild.
And the other one is a great game, and it's Shadow of Mordor. I actually am going to play it after we finish recording, because I've been thinking about it after thinking about Shadow of War. But yeah, I'm sure that's why it got smaller. What's the storage like on consoles these days? Now that I have to think about buying a PS4, how much space will I have left over after I bought Monster Hunter World as well?
Storage space is usually like 500 gigs to a terabyte on most consoles.
Okay.
Except for the Switch, which is mystifyingly 32 gigabytes.
Oh, that's tiny.
Yeah, the Wii U was the same as well. I can see why, like, you could see why sales of that system maybe didn't do so hot, because, like, you couldn't use digital stuff on it. There was no capacity.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But PS4 supports external hard drives, you told me a while ago, eh? So
yes, it absolutely does now, so that's really great. Plus, if worst came to worst, you could just, like, replace that hard drive.
Yeah.
That's, like, fully an option. Alright, that's good. I think we're good. Thanks
so
for listening
many games, it's hard to keep
Thanks
track.
for listening to our content.
Yeah, I hope you've had a good E3 week as well.
Yeah,
My
there's
birthday
probably
presents
some
for
stuff
everyone.
that you liked, and I really hope there is, because video games are good. People should play them.
It's a fun time to get excited about a bunch of video games. and then struggle to maintain that excitement for months until they're released, and you're kind of iffy about them, maybe.
True.
But no, I hope you've found excitement and managed to maintain it, because excitement is a nice thing to experience, especially if it pays off in the end when you actually get the game and enjoy it.
Oh shit, yeah. Like my Destiny 2 excitement, really hope that pays off.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's sort of easier to be certain with sequels to games you've already enjoyed, because you're like, I know these people can make good games.
I want one more thing before we go. Have you ever had a sequel that's ruined other games for you?
Like ruined the franchise?
Yeah. Or like took away the things that you loved the most about the previous entry? Like I'll start.
Oh yeah, sure.
This one's easy, and I've talked about it enough on the show that like I don't have to go into any detail. Mass Effect 2. I still maintain that it was my least favorite entry in the series, and that Mass Effect 1 is definitely like my preferred entry. Mass Effect as a series overall still really enjoyed, but like ME2 totally took enough away that it was noticeable.
It was definitely the biggest gameplay change was between 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure.
I find that I was actually talking about this earlier today. Mass Effect 3, I think, is my favorite entry, but only because by that point you've had the history of Mass Effect 1 and 2. So if it was just playing one game on their own, I wouldn't be able to say the same.
Honestly, I think maybe if you were to just go from like 1 to 3, I think you'd have enough of that history. But I'm not sure. Because there's some stuff with the Krogans and stuff as well.
There's a bunch of important stuff in 2, especially since a lot of the characters are introduced in 2. Like you won't have any history or chemistry with Mordin or Thane if you haven't played 2.
Yeah. Or Grunt. But I don't think Grunt has too huge a thing.
Oh, Grunt was cool, but Mordin was my favourite.
Yeah.
Legion also I really liked.
How about you, though? Like, you got a sequel that...
I'm trying to think. Nothing has come to mind, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't played Final Fantasy X-2. Maybe I won't like that. Actually, Final Fantasy 13-2 I didn't like.
Okay. That's your sequel that maybe threw you off?
Yeah, I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13. 13-2 just had a whole bunch of weird time travel stuff that I didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't find it as fun. I don't know if there's anything... I don't know, because a lot of the time, there's not that big a difference between games and their sequels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scrolling through my Steam library to see if there's anything.
While you do that, I'll wrap up.
Okay. No, I don't think there is anything, though.
Thank you very much for listening to PauseCast. This has been episode 43. If you'd like the show, if you'd like to consider supporting it financially, you can do so by going to patreon.com/PauseCastShow. If you'd like to follow the show on Twitter, we are at PauseCastShow. If you'd like to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/PauseCastShow. Those are kind of our main things. We also have an email. If you send us questions, you send us comments, you got a good chance that we're going to send you a video game in return. I've got games, spare keys for stuff like Inside, Dirt Rally, and more.
Did you still have XCOM 2?
I think I might still have XCOM 2.
You can get that and then get the expansion when it comes out.
Exactly. And again, that email is pausecastshow@gmail.com. Mark, you are online.
I am. I'm on Twitter at HonestUniverse, and I blog as well, though not about video games, at honestuniverse.com. What about you? You
can find me online at CockatielCutie. I've been doing a lot of video games writing recently. You can find that at medium.com/@CockatielCutie. Or I'll probably... Actually, you know what? Let me commit to this right now. If you'd like to find some of my writing, you can do so by going to bit.ly/birdmedium.
Nice.
All lowercase, one word.
Is that included in the URL?
No, that is not included in the URL. That would be a very, very long URL.
That is a long URL. Is that really that the whole thing is URL? I thought bit.ly gave you shorter URLs.
Oh, come on. The longest URL I have ever seen is this. My youngest son's 7th word hyphen my youngest son's 15th word dot pizza. And this was a URL created for the My Brother, and Me television show. That is the longest
damn
URL.
it, I think I typed it wrong. My youngest son's 7th word dash my youngest son's 15th
You actually
word
have to spell
dot
out
pizza.
hyphen.
Oh, okay. Hyphen.
My youngest son's 15th word
There
dot
it is.
pizza. It's real. It links to a small video, which was a blooper from the show. Didn't get in. That was good. It was good content.
What show is that?
The My Brother, and Me television show.
Right. Okay. Says yes, we thought of this joke. Right. Okay.
It's very good.
It's a very long URL.
It's a very long URL.
Like if I dock my window to the side of the screen, I can't even see the whole domain.
Perfect. Yeah, you can find my writing at bit.ly/birdmedium. And that includes stuff that we actually broke on the show. I broke some news at about 2 a.m. on Monday morning about some exclusive stuff I found out about read-only memories, which got had an Xbox One port kind of leaked onto the interview, as well as information about the Japanese localization of read-only memories and the upcoming Vita port and some of the technical difficulties surrounding that as well. It's a really great interview. We talk a lot about the identity of read-only memories and, how the setting came to form its identity, how the game got started. So it is a really great listen. I had a lot of fun doing that interview, and thank you again to Matt Kahn, if you're listening, for doing that with me.
So where can we find that interview?
You can find that on the PauseCast feed. So if you are subscribed to PauseCast, you should have a bonus episode in your feed. As well, if you'd like to find it, you can go to soundcloud.com/PauseCast show, and that's where we host everything. So that'll be the most kind of direct way to go and listen to that interview.
Nice.
Yeah. That's everything, isn't it? That's the show. Music. You keep getting me on that, and
it's the one thing I always remember, so it makes it easy.
I'm so glad that you remember. Thank you to Leon for the use of our theme song, Honey Milk Island. Leon recently released the album Bird World. It's very good. Give it a listen. Give all his music a listen. Find his music at soundcloud.com/LEYAWN. That is the show. That's it. That's PauseCast episode 43 all wrapped up. Thank you again for listening.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next week.
Bye.